Wow. Okay. My turn. So this is our adventure in faith, and the theme of our adventure is phenomenon. Phenomenon. And I first of all want all of us to think about, what does phenomenon mean? Because it is my invitation to all of us that each of us create a phenomenon in our life. That we are that phenomenon that we are creating. And we make a decision during this adventure in faith about what that phenomenon is going to be. Phenomenon meaning that event or something special, or in a person, a prodigy. So a special someone is a phenomenon. Each one of us creating those phenomena will be a light in this world that will be so brilliant that we will shine all over San Clemente and be so visible and seen that people must come and see us. So being the phenomenon. It does come from the movie Phenomenon, and the movie is a fabulous metaphor, and although I love the movie, it isn't exactly fitting with our principles, so I'll tell you where it fits and where it doesn't, but it certainly has so many things. So we're going to start with a little clip that is, for me, about trusting the process. Are people in the sound booth ready? They are. All right. So you'll see it in both screens. There we go. It worked earlier.
It's playing.
There we go.
Yeah, happy birthday. 37. 37. Anybody see that? There's that light?
What kind of light?
There was a noise. Did you hear it?
Oh. Could we finish the game, George?
It was like an explosion, and it was a flash.
Like a plane?
No, it was bigger than that. It was farther away.
Oh, you mean like a star, George?
Man, it knocked me off my feet.
Fell?
Yeah, it fell. I was
The man's a deep man.
I warned you.
I'm not drunk, mate.
I'm taking you queen, George. Now pay attention.
That checkmate? That's checkmate, isn't it?
You mean he beat you? You let him win that birthday present?
I didn't let him win anything.
You're pissed off about that, aren't you?
Play another one?
You can get your revenge on me tomorrow, all right?
Feeling okay?
Yep.
Can you drive, George?
Yeah, I'm all right. Hey. Thanks, everybody.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, George.
That was a good party.
So what happened is he saw the light, and the light knocked him flat. And there's the metaphor for us, because when we first understand who we are, when we see the light, sometimes it knocks us flat. Sometimes we're knocked right over by that thing that is the presence and the power. Sometimes we surprise ourselves with the power of our word. There was one of the minister's wives in San Diego, a very big ministry years ago, Dr. Arlene would say, when a practitioner would be surprised because there was a result, she would get mad. She says, of course there's going to be a result. Of course there's going to be a result. Didn't we pray for it? And when you pray affirmatively, yes, there will be a result. And sometimes the results don't look exactly like what we think they're going to look like. And that takes us to today, because today is truly about trusting the process, about letting the process be what it is. Now, sometimes we would like to say, trust your process. I'm not really saying that. I'm saying trusting the process, the creative process, the way the principle works, the way the law works. Trust that process. Which means when something isn't happening exactly as you envision it, think again. Pray again. Plant the seed again. Don't stop. Don't change course. You're on the right course. You decided, your heart told you what the course was. Plant the thing again. And if need be, again and again and again, until you experience this good. Now, as I said, it's been quite a week. Well, it's been quite an 8 years as we've been moving toward this, moving into our own space. And did I plan it to not have air conditioning today? Absolutely not. But does it spoil it? No. It doesn't spoil it for me. I know we'll have air conditioning tomorrow. We've got this fancy-dancy equipment. It's going to work. It has been working up until today, so it will continue to work, and it'll work fabulously next Sunday. Sometimes we tell ourselves things like, God didn't want me to have that, which is a complete lie. Because the only God there is a pure principle. It is a principle of love, yes, and it absolutely adores and cherishes you and me and everyone else. But it never interferes. It always says, yes, my beloved, whatever it is that we are planting into it is going to grow and become ours. And I know I'm talking to people who, like me, have experienced challenges and pain and upset, disappointment. I'm talking to people, some of you I know have had bad news, either about health or jobs or relationships. And I'm still saying trust the process. Trust the creative process. Keep planting that seed and let it bloom for you. Let it grow for you. About 3 years ago, we went to Australia as a group. And while I was in Australia, my cat got sick. And she was very sick, and our wonderful Patty Mercado was good enough to be looking after my cat. And she called me in Australia and said, I'm so worried your cat won't eat. What should I do? And she'd already taken her to the vet, which was the right thing to do. And by the time I got home, the vet bill was like $3,500. And the cat was miserable because although she'd rallied, and then she didn't make it. But I got to come home and say goodbye to her, which was good, because those of you who have pets know how important it is. They're our family. For many of us, it's those patter of feet or the pattern we hear. Many of us who live alone, our pets are especially important. So anyway, all of you were so wonderful because all of you wanted to find me a new pet. And you kept sending me the same email. It was the same email, this beautiful Siamese lynx cat that was a little heavy and needed a lot of love and not so much food. And And, you know, maybe you could diet together kind of thing. Or whatever. So anyway, I got the cat. We fell in love. We absolutely fell in love with each other. She was so aloof. Before I picked her up, when I went to visit her in the rescue home, it was a home filled like 8 or 9 cats, and she was so aloof. She sort of came over to the couch and she jumped up and sort of looked at me and then jumped back off and jumped back up again and back off. And the people said, we think she doesn't purr. We've had her for a week and she never purrs. I got her home out of her little carrying case and she never stopped purring. Aww. She never stopped purring, and those of you who've been in my house know that she purrs for anyone. She's kind of friendly that way. So I got this other cat, and immediately I noticed the same symptoms that my first cat had. So for 3 years I've been watching this cat have the same symptoms, and I've been putting off doing anything about it. I've been changing her food and trying to tempt her to eat more and keep her fat, because then she wouldn't, even when she stopped eating, she'd still be able to survive, because I knew the direction it would go. So anyway, this week, I knew was the week. Wouldn't you know, with all the to-do, it was the week. And I knew that animals see in pictures, so I knew I couldn't feel scared or sad when I was around her. I had to feel optimistic and happy about her next expression, just like our next expression. And I did a pretty good job. And the day before the vet was going to come, I live in a 2-story house, and I think there are 24 steps up to my bedroom. It's a big lot of stairs. And for a cat that was so sick, she stopped coming upstairs. She started sleeping downstairs. So I moved her litter box down and moved her food closer to her. You all know what we do. Anyway, the morning that we were going to start this work, I got here at 6 a.m., so I left home about 5:15. And I was having my shower at 5 o'clock. She'd been downstairs, and up she came. Oh. Up she came, and there she was. It was like, anyone have a cat that talks? Yes. Okay, this one was a yowler. This one, no matter what she was doing, she announced herself. And it was big, loud voice. Big, loud voice, pretty irritating, especially at night, because she would announce when she was using her litter box. She would announce when she was having a drink. She would announce when she was coming to bed. She would announce everything. Well, recently that got less and less and less until now there was just a little tiny like that. So there she was. She'd come upstairs, and I couldn't stay with her because I had to meet these guys, and I felt bad about that. I petted her and said, "You're okay, look at you. You came all the way up." And then I left. And when I got back home, she was back downstairs. I don't know how she did it. Because when the vet came, he said, "This cat is so emaciated, she has no muscle left." She had a big fat stomach because she had a big fat stomach, but she had no muscle on her hind legs. And Diane said it, and I believe that is an example of when someone loves you, when something loves you, they do whatever needs to be done in order to connect with you. So, I had a vet come who was absolutely the right, perfect person, who, even though he was like a giant man, got down on the ground with me and the cat and tended to her, and I held her in my arms and sang to her like a baby and held her until she was sleeping, and then we let her go. It was really beautiful. It ended up being beautiful and absolutely the right timing and process. But when she came up those steps, I was thinking, okay, God, I made a mistake. It can't possibly be time because she's still climbing all these steps. She must be still wanting to be around. And yet it was exactly the right time. So what I'm asking each of you to do, if you're thinking that that thing that you want to make as your goal, your intention for Adventure in Faith and you're thinking it's not the right time because something's happened to show you it's not the right time? BS. Basic story. Basic story. Not the truth. BS. Not the truth. The truth is that the thing that you want wants you. The thing that you want wants you. And God only can express through you what you're willing to keep planting into mind. Saying, yes, yes, this is for me. So the thing about Adventure in Faith is about commitment. It's about commitment to our spiritual practices. So the first practice is trust the process. That's the first practice. Trust whatever is going on. And ask yourself, am I living in principle? And all that means is, do my thoughts and words match what I do want? Or do my thoughts and words match what I'm trying to get away from? And put yourself back into principle. We've got these wonderful minds. That's what we need to use them for. To use them. To keep putting ourselves back into that place where we're in alignment with love. Alignment with truth. Alignment with the power of God. That's how we got here. That's how we got here. And that's how every demonstration happens. When Diane was talking about being stretched and grown, what she's talking about is knowing the truth, knowing that good is coming for her because she's planted it and she keeps moving toward it and having new experiences. Because if we were having the same old experiences, we wouldn't be growing. It does require a willingness to move. So, this is about commitment. It's about commitment both of you individually and us collectively. Individually, you're committing to your spiritual practice. It's about us collectively committing to the support of this center. So last Sunday, we had a fabulous banquet for the people who had made pledges last year. And this is your opportunity to make a pledge. If you already did that at the banquet, I salute you, thank you so much. But if you didn't, in the chair back in front of you, there's a card. And it looks like this. Looks like this. And I invite you to take that card. Is that going to come forward? I invite you to take that card with you today. If you already know what you're going to pledge in support of this center for 2013, either weekly or monthly, fill it out. Okay? Acting up some more. And where it goes when it's completed, and you can, if you already know what you're going to pledge, put it in the treasure box that's right back there under the big heart which says Adventure in Faith. Or if you're not ready, take it home and pray about it. Ask yourself, what is mine to commit to this year? So that this center can be that beacon. And bring it back anytime. I invite you to make it a process when you do that, to come to the treasure box and do a little affirmation or a namaste or something. Say, I'm really acknowledging this too is a spiritual practice. And what I know, and if you don't mind me using your name, Faith, but I already did, this beautiful woman usually sits with me or close to me when in our pledge parties, and she wasn't able to come to this one. And she always whispers to me before my talk, no matter what they think they can give, you all can give more than that. Isn't that a great thing? You all can give more than you think you can. I love that. So it always stretches and grows me. Today in our reading, by our Alan Cohen reading, he was talking about being at a church and saying, how much time do I have? And the minister said, go with the energy. And he was shocked because he thought most churches like to be so exact about what time they're going to finish and how many minutes you get or seconds. He said, go with the energy. So I've gone with the energy, and I want to close by quoting this. This is the best possible quote for commitment. You've heard it before, but listen with new ears. Listen with brand new baby ears. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. W.H. Murray said that, and it is so true. And then it's tagged on by a Goethe quote. And the quote from Goethe is this: whatever you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. And so it is.